going live again. I
Yeah.
just updated the title to
Okay,
part
great.
2.
Great.
All
And I'll
right.
get back into it.
All right,
And I'm now
Nomo,
showing
final round. We've
Nomo
got a
Noun
birthday cake.
on the screen, and then we'll go back to the tavern as soon as that's up.
All right, 14 seconds left on this final round here of Nomo. It's either going to be a birthday cake for Jim Farcaster or a wave record. Who's it going to be? It's not even close. Everybody wants the birthday cake. Everybody loves GM Farcaster. And even though there's 3 candles on the cake, it's just 1 year anniversary, and this cake is for you.
Birthday cake wins brutality.
Champion. Well, there's a little slice of nounishness for you guys at GM Farcaster. If you want to mint the Nomo Noun of the day, you can do so for 0.00069 ETH. It's like $1.66 on the Optimism network. And all proceeds go to the Yellow Collective, which is our non-DAO DAO, our culture club on chain that is all about helping and empowering artists on chain. So that's a good cause. Also, we do a draw periodically for the Yellow Collective where we give away tokens to the Yellow Collective to people who minted Nomos in the previous couple weeks. So another draw is coming up soon. Fatty But Happy, Food Masku, and a couple others have won their way into the collective that way. So another little bonus for minting the daily Nomo edition. We also minted together the safety. Oh no, we didn't mint the safety pizza. We got rugged. And what that means is someone from outside the FOMO game decided they liked this pizza and they just went and did it from the contract. So that's why we didn't get to choose the noun of the day. And it's a pizza, a safety pizza, whether you like it or not. You've got 24 hours to bid on that if you do. Where are we at with the Yellow Collective auction? We were so
it ended about 10 minutes ago and somebody already settled, but it's gorgeous.
Well, there we go. So we had a radio collective now, number 308. Prof, I don't know if you can go to yellowcollective.xyz.
It's up on the stream. On the screen.
Awesome.
So if she streams the stream, then she can stream it on the stream.
She's not streaming the stream because you killed the stream with your
computers. I didn't kill the stream. My computer killed the stream.
Having 16.
She's streaming the stream again. It's all good. We're back.
Well, if you're streaming the stream, Collective Noun number 308 is a beautiful retro radio. So.
And it was bought by
to Amir Karimi. I pronounced that wrong.
Amir Karimi, I'm not sure. Amir Karimi, I don't know them from Warpcast, but we'll try to track them down and get them into our Yellow Collective Cabal, which is a group that has about 130 holders of Yellow, and we have a lot of fun in there. So congratulations to Collective Noun 308 auction winner. And the auction has already been settled, and it is a Zora Zorb. So if you're a Zora fan, we've already got another bid actually from Amir, so I guess he likes the Yellow Collectives this week, and he's going after this Zorb. If you want to outbid him, you're going to have to make a bid of more than 0.01 ETH at this point. 24-hour auction on the clock. All right. Well, Prof, what else is going on with your 24-hour show? Can you give us a little update on what's coming up over the next? Sure. You're 6 hours in, so you're 1/4 of the way through your show. Congrats.
Yeah, no, it should be long. It seems like a lot longer. So this is streaming now. Just to let you know, we got about 256 folks who are watching this on YouTube, Twitter, and on Lonely. And a few people chatting on Lonely. So after the Noun Square at 2:40, so we're going to have to jump off shortly, we have a replay of episode 54, which was with Jesse Pollock back in January 30th of this year. And I say that very specifically because it was a few days after Frames launched on Farcaster. So it was a really kind of fun time. And sort of the moment when Base really exploded on Farcaster, right before that happened. And then right after that, 3:30, we're going to have a group of Base builders chatting with us about sort of that intersection of Base and Farcaster.
I'm just kidding.
And we have you on for poker. So we have, after that, we have Purple Hour, which is going to be all about Purple DAO. And we're going to be with Chris Corella and Emery. And we'll also be talking about their round that's currently happening in the /Purple channel. And then we have an interview with Adrian and I that was done by Dewoofi, who does Vibe Check. And so we have a Vibe Check with Dewoofi happening at 5:30. At 6:30, we have a compilation, or actually a little before that, a compilation of Here for the Art. And that's going to be it's our collection that we've done with 5 different artists on Farcaster who've done pieces for us. And I have highlights from each of the podcasts that we did with them. And that's Max Jackson, Chris Corella, Chris co-created, Brian Morris, and Renee Campbell. And then we roll into poker. So we're going to have a little poker night with Burberry, who does their own poker club on Farcaster, and is actually a professional poker player.
It was on our show yesterday, actually.
Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't know that. I missed her. Oh, shoot. And then we have Toadie's going to be there, Sparks, Alina, Sheik Shanks, Evans, and Poap. There's a few other folks who are going to join us, and maybe Head. So we're going to play some poker. We're going to chat about community building on Farcaster, and we have a few prizes lined up by a few different folks, including Yellow, who's going to be dropping a couple things to some winners. After that, we're going to do we have Samantha from Humankind Candles, and she's going to be doing some candle making live on stream, and also doing a little bit of nail art. So it's going to be a little more wind down. And then at 10:30, we're going to be here on Tavern for a little late night Tavern Gab Fest, just to kind of chill. And then after that, rolling into like 12:30 a.m. Eastern hour and beyond, we're going to have some pre-recorded and replays of some of the other content that we did today. So then we'll be back on at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning to wrap up.
You're allowed like 2 hours, Prof, in the middle of the night as like a community night, like open mic. Like anybody could have just come, just give the address for the
Tavern.
Let anybody say anything.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
People do the community.
Not really. Yeah, I see no way in which that could possibly end poorly. Honestly,
that couldn't go wrong at all.
if there's one thing you can trust, it's strangers on the internet.
In today's news, GM Farcaster loses all of their subscribers.
In today's news, GM Farcaster banned from every platform. Even the ones that were previously thought to not have moderation.
Nice effect there, buddy. I love that. I'm watching it on the screen.
Oh, the visualizer? Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, that was cool. We're also, if you missed the content from this morning, we'll be replaying it, but it's also already available on our YouTube, and you can look in the live section, and you'll see it there. And we had a great chat with Dan this morning at 11:30, and that was fantastic. It's also available on Twitter, so you can grab it there on my account and or on the GM Farcaster account on YouTube. And then talked a lot about panel and the direction he's going with panel. And then we also had a chat with Snickerdoodle and their State Farcaster report, which just came out today, and that was really interesting. So,
give us a quick alpha on what you learned.
They're just this week they decided to take a new priority with channels, and they're going to be doing a lot of development on that over the next couple of weeks to make those more cozy corners, and there'll be some changes that are coming. It seems like it's really pretty positive, but we'll see how it all rolls out. So
That's cool too, but I'm
State of Farcaster. There was so much cool stuff. The bottom line was that their kind of conclusion is this is a great place if you're trying to, if you want to interact or get early adopters, especially around tech, then Farcaster is where you want to be. And so that was really interesting. But they had a lot of great data it was a ton of responses from surveys as well as looking at on-chain data. And it's really pretty fantastic. But I'm going to have to jump because our recorded stream is going to start in 1 minute. So if you are listening on the Tavern, like if you've been watching this on the Tavern, or jump into the Tavern or watch on the Noun Square account so you don't miss anything. from this point forward. And also, I pinned up our mint that is live right now for 24 hours. Or actually, I think I have it going for a couple of 4 days for our birthday. Our birthday.
Well, congratulations again on 1 year of GM Broadcaster, and I'm sorry that you're doing a 24-hour stream, but
well, thank you so much.
We have no sympathy. We've done it before, and so have you. You knew what you were getting into.
Absolutely. All right.
just
Love
about,
you too.
that's not my idea about allowing anybody on the stage for 2 hours tonight.
Yeah, let's not do that. I've already talked about that. But come join us for this happen late night, and we'll be happy to bring everybody up. So ending this stream on the GM Podcast platform so we can move to the next thing. And I will see you all later. I've got to run to my next thing.
All right.
But it's been fun. Thank you, Cody, for jumping on earlier. And we're going to start doing a little GM Podcaster report. Starting
with collaboration.
Yeah.
Collaboration, which I can do a little bit of Forecaster Friday action here on Now Talk Live, and maybe a little bit of GM Nouns action over on GM Forecaster. Let's cook.
We love it. Yeah, love it. And this was really fun today to have you on and chatting, and really cool guys to see you there. We had Willie on a couple weeks ago during a GM and a PM, and so yeah, we always have them those come by. See you all later. Thanks for helping us all build our birthday.
Don't forget to hydrate.
Yeah, I am. I've got like 3 glasses of water sitting in front of me.
All right, well, we have a list of all the things that we want to cover on the show today. And so far, we're 30 minutes into our 1 hour show. We've made it to one item. So we're doing great, guys. Well done. We'll just have to turn on the afterburners here and see if we can breeze through some of these topics that we wanted to chat about. Let's talk first about ENS. So ENS Domains has announced Friends Day. Get it? Friends. It has like BNS in it. It's coming to Thailand in November. Who was the one that posted that in our chat? Brett?
Oh yeah, that was me.
All at once. Oh, yeah. What's the deal with this?
Oh well, I mean it's them being even more public. I was noticing, or there was mention of the PayPal and Venmo rollout, where your ENS will be honored or recognized, and making crypto that much easier. So when I was poking around there, I came across this and just thought it was interesting. A lot of people are going to be in Singapore pretty close to that time, and those that are going to network camp probably, could maybe make a weekender out of it or something. But it's just interesting to see them actually breaking into some IRL activations.
That's true. You don't really see them much.
Standalone. Yeah.
That's cool to see.
Yeah.
And
normally they just have like a booth at a conference or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is more like centric to them, and hopefully we'll see more of it.
Well, and the news with PayPal and Venmo is pretty crazy. I mean, this is the kind of news that like literally in 2022 would have made Bitcoin go up like 35%.
Yes.
And now I think we went down on the news somehow. So this is adoption or something. Anyway, good to hear that ENS is building some interesting stuff. Speaking of building, Rubinovitz at Rubinovitz over on both Twitter, X, and Warpcast is testing something, and we don't know what, but we've seen some posts from them, and they've been interacted with by both Seneca and Noun 70, so maybe they've got some alpha. But what we do know is that this person was funded by Nouns to create a Nouns-centric Warpcast-like client, Farcaster client, with a centered around basically art and creators and social. So yeah, really interested to see what they've been cooking. And as of right now, we don't have any information, but keep your eyes peeled, and maybe we're going to see an MVP soon of what they've been working on. Any of you guys have any alpha, or is that as much as we know?
That was more than I knew.
That was significantly more than I knew. The most that I knew is that this looked like the transition we have on the stream, just without Nouny in the background.
I know a lot about Nouns. I spend a lot of time. thinking about nouns. It's a
Really?
Yeah.
real problem.
All
right,
wait, are
moving
you
on.
saying that we've been doing this show for 800 something days and you know
I'm
things about nouns?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm optimistic about nouns. And speaking of optimism, the Sunnies coming soon from Benji and Chris Corella. How'd you like that transition?
Beautiful.
And the Optimism crew. The deadline has now passed to enter the Sunnies. Hopefully, if you're a creator or a builder and you've done anything on the super chain, you got your application in, because the application was extremely easy to do, and you could also apply for several different projects if you've got your hand in a figure in a couple different pies. So hopefully you got that in. I know I put it out into Carlos's paid alpha group. No, sorry, into the Yellow Collective Cabal chat, and a couple artists were actually thankful that I did, because they had not heard about it, and they were able to get, I think Jacques and a couple others were able to get applications in for things that they'd been working on. So now, aside from the application process and everything that I learned when we had Benji and Chris Corella on our Base Builders show last week, I don't actually know how the awards themselves are going to be figured out. All I know is that all of the metrics are going to be tracked on chain. So they've asked for your wallet address, deployment wallet address when you applied. And I guess they're doing some like interesting on-chain data sleuthing and analysis to find out what your impact has been for whatever it is that you've claimed. And then there's going to be a combination of, OP tokens and actual on-chain attestation awards that you'll receive for certain awards. So it will be interesting to watch. Keep an eye on it. If you're not following Benji over on Warpcast, I recommend that you do. And of course, follow Optimism as well. And if you're
the OP round ended this morning too. So if you submitted an award idea, you may have gotten some OP tokens sent to you.
Interesting. I wanted to suggest one, I forgot, but anyway, yeah, that's cool. So they're crowdsourcing some of the award categories as well. This is basically a decentralized award show, and it should be interesting to watch. Benji's always fun to watch cook, so keep an eye on it. And if you're not following yet, the Super Chain with the letters THE in front, not just Super Chain. That's the channel to follow over on Warpcast to keep your eye on all this stuff. We wanted to highlight a collection called the Shitcasters from friend of the show, Greta Gremplin, Carlos, who's also the artist behind a few of our traits in the Yellow Collective and a few of our upcoming traits from the new cohort of heads that are going to be added soon. Great artist, great pixel artist, always has fun with it. And the Shitcasters are still available and minting over in / the Shitcasters. This is not an ad. This is not a promotion. It's just someone cool from our community making interesting art, and we love Carlos. So go.
Hashtag not sponsored.
And the art is 100% on chain too.
That's right, completely on chain. We are only sponsored by stamps.com. So unless you hear otherwise, it is not a sponsored post.
Noun O'Clock Live at the Noun Square is brought to you in part by NounsDAO, Stamps.com, and listeners like you.
Also, Matcha XYZ.
And Matcha XYZ, right.
All right. CBBTC. CBBTC, say that 10 times fast, on Base is now swappable on both Rainbow and also usable for rounds. So yesterday we talked about the fact that all of the speculation around the orange Base logos that were floating around over the weekend, or over the early of the week, I guess Monday and Tuesday, was about Base launching CBBTC, which is basically a wrapped version of Bitcoin on the Base network, and allows people to use Bitcoin, wrap it up, and use it in DeFi apps on Base. Pretty cool. And as intended, some apps are already jumping in to say, hey, come use your CBBTC on Base in our app. Rainbow Wallet, one such. I also saw Matcha XYZ is completely ready to be using that as well. And Rounds, our own Rounds here from Nouns, has announced that you can use CBBTC as one of the ERC20 tokens that you can use for paying people out on Rounds. So I wonder who's going to be
4 different acronyms on it.
Yeah. So you take your CBBTC and you put it into your ERC20, and then you flip it around and you put it over and you reverse it, and then you will be able to reward the community for what they're doing.
This is a bit from Good Morning Vietnam.
Just remember WWSD. What would Seneca do? he would reward your community with CBBTC on rounds. So I wonder who's going to be the first person to use Bitcoin in a round. I haven't seen it yet. So if you want to be the first to reward your community with CBBTC, go for it. You know what it actually sounds? It sounds like a weed gummy is what it sounds like.
CBBTC.
You go to your local store, you can get some CBBTC. It's completely wrapped and safe from Coinbase.
Yeah, you know what? It might be, Brett.
Yeah,
I can ask around for you.
Yeah,
I'll bring some to Nouns Fest.
Brett would know for sure.
I
all right.
do feel like what just happened was exactly the bit from Good Morning Vietnam. The seeing as how the VIP is such a the VP is such a VIP, shouldn't we keep the PC on the QT? Because leaks the VC could end up MIA, and then we'd all be put on KP. Like it's.
It's pretty much exactly that. Yeah, sounds about right. All right, OpenSea, our favorite NFT platform, said no one else ever, kicks off a creator legal defense fund alongside A16Z Crypto and Stand With Crypto. So this is kind of interesting. Obviously, OpenSea was served with a Wells notice recently, which was basically arguing that there are NFTs that are securities on their platform and that they are violating the law because of that, which also, of course, implies that the creators of those NFTs might also be in violation of securities law if it is, deciphered by the SEC that these pieces of art NFTs are somehow securities. So OpenSea has created a fund that will, I'm assuming, help A16Z Crypto and Stand With Crypto fund people who need legal defense in that eventuality. Hopefully, it won't be needed, but this is the apparent reality that we live in. So
yeah, OpenSea has pledged. It says $5 million, and A16Z pledged another $1 million to help cover any legal fees for artists or developers who receive a Wells notice.
That's cool. By the way, if you didn't know, Jonathan Mann, Song a Day Man, is also currently suing the SEC over this very thing. So shout out to him and anyone else who's fighting against this stupidity.
I wonder how the SEC is going to feel about the CBBTC.
I don't know. I don't think. Isn't that an Eminem song? Yes, won't let me be me. Won't let me trade CBTC. Something like that. It's on one of his older albums. You have to look it up. It's a deep cut.
Yeah, really older album. 1870s ish.
If you are active on the Purple app, and I bet you are, because a lot of you folks I recognize from Farcaster, you might have, and I emphasize might, because I guess some people did try and it didn't work out, but you might have qualified for a social stake drop from the Eigen Foundation. So if you're not familiar with Eigenlayer, we won't get into it too much on this space, but basically it's a secondary layer for Ethereum. It's basically creating a new consensus layer where people who stake can be rewarded for additional security provided to other networks, basically. And they've done one airdrop already that they've called a stake drop, and it's called a stake drop because you can't actually claim the tokens and trade them or anything yet. You can just basically claim them and stake them in the network. Eventually, they may actually have value, but right now they don't. Anyway, they're doing their second stake drop, and this time it is going out to people who are active on socials and I think talking about Eigenlayer or asking questions about Eigenlayer. So if you've been active on Warpcast, depending on your account activity, you might qualify for some tokens via this. It's worth a chance to check it out. I casted about it a little earlier today. So if you go to my Warpcast account at toadyhawk.eth, you'll be able to see it there. And the link is certified 100% safe over to the Eigen Foundation. You don't even have to connect your wallet. You can just connect your Warpcast. It'll tell you if you have tokens. And if you do, you paste address where you want to receive them, and Bob's your uncle. But I think it is cool to see protocols like Eigen using social protocols to sort of verify people's humanity, for one, and also their participation in sort of spreading the word about what they're building. So kind of neat to see. Did you guys all check? Any of you guys?
I didn't qualify. I might check another wallet.
I'm checking right now.
I haven't talked about Eigenlayer much on Warpcast, I don't think, but I must have at least a couple of times,
Nope.
I guess.
Nothing.
I tried all four of them: Twitter, Discord, GitHub.
I didn't qualify for Twitter, and I knew I wouldn't qualify for Discord. And yeah, but I guess Warpcast, I must have said the magic words a couple times. So anyway, check it. If you've ever said anything about Eigenlayer or asked questions about it or anything on Warpcast, you might qualify. Worth a check anyway.
I just pinned the link up top
Excellent.
to check.
And then we've got Willy Wonka here too. The last item on our list was just to talk about how space, $Space, is now live. It's officially entered orbit. Noun Space is launched. Willy Wonka, do you want to talk to us about that again for a minute?
Sure, always happy to come on here and chill space. Thank you guys for giving me the space for it and for saving the Let's do it. I think the announcement and if you haven't checked yet, claim tokens. If you've used Noun Space, you've been to Nouniverse, which now is still not free. And you believe these moves by now. Or participated in our launch, you've got space tokens to claim. Check that out, and also launch the Noun Space DAO. So if you like DAOs and if you're interested in building the future of social, we got a killer community and we have a state-of-the-art DAO stack, and the treasury is getting 20% of the total supply of space tokens. So I'm actually working on a proposal right now to fund our first rounds. We haven't done any rounds yet for Noun Space. We're not going to do it with the CBBTC just yet, I don't think, although when you mentioned that, I was thinking, like, should we do that? But we have this new token now, and we want to give the token out to our users, our supporters, our community members. So
I think that makes the most sense for sure.
Yeah, and pretty exciting to now have this token that we can put to work and use to incentivize the type of actions that we want to see, and then reward our community members who are performing those actions. So very exciting. We're also seeing some like big spikes in usage of the app already just since the token went live. So that's exciting to see. And yeah, if you guys have any ideas for how we can distribute these tokens or how we can just DAO stuff better in general, how we can build the future of social, hope you'll propose it, because many of you, I think, now should be official space community members, unless you sell, which I should mention these airdrops stream over 1 month. So, and if you haven't
Instead of space community members, can we be called space cadets?
You are called Space Cadets, and thank you for reminding me, Brett. That is literally the official name for. If you look at the launch post title, it's GM Space Cadets. So I really should not have said Space Community Members. Thank you for reminding me there. But yeah, get in there, get involved, make some proposals, and stay tuned for this proposal coming up to fund some rounds.
Brett loves it because he's been called a Space Cadet his whole life, so he's been training for this moment.
It's meant to be, dude. Yeah, it's in your blood.
Yeah, I was looking for that shark on Mars earlier.
And really, I mean, to that point, you guys are the exact type of community members we want. You're Nounish, you got DAO experience, you're Farcaster native, you love open source public goods. So really, like, can't think of better community members or people to help build the future of social with us than y'all.
I feel like he's like writing our Tinder bio for us.
Yeah, really. For anybody who is confused on how to set up their Noun Space, can we do like, a short like video about how to get everything set up and call it Space Camp?
That is an excellent idea. And you know what? I will take you up on that. I'm going to do that just for you. RFG.
I'll help. Let's do it.
I'm just so glad that RFG volunteered to do it. It's so nice of her.
I did that for once. It's not a bit.
There we go.
It's a Suno song called Space Camp On Ramp.
And then it could be a competition, and every week we celebrate the Space Camp On Ramp champ.
These are the ideas that we need, y'all. You're already adding value. This is
then you have to collab with Krell
value
to get the Space Camp on camp.
Oh yes, the Space Camp on
Space Camp on camp on ramp
at base camp.
I love Lamp. All right. Well,
as mined by the tramp.
Usually when this happens, that's how we know we've got to the end of our show. So congratulations. Yes. When we get into random lines, we've made it through all of our actual interesting things to say. So this has been 9 o'clock live. 7.
Well, we do have a couple other things that I wanted to bring up really quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
One, we should not forget that we do have a couple of proposals that are upcoming. Sorry, my throat got weird when I blue screened. I'm not kidding, it actually did. First, like we said earlier, Pipe Dream did pass. We didn't highlight that the other day because I don't have a brain. But it did pass. It's now queued for execution. I'm very excited about that. And
Why does
up for
cute for
voting.
execution sound so violent? It's like, congratulations, you've passed a proposal. You'll be executed summarily at noon tomorrow.
What was that? Oh, don't worry,
It
just
do
imagine
feel,
a
it
horse
do
being
feel
hung
like
out
that
there.
sometimes.
Um,
I do feel like that sometimes.
I mean, yeah, a little bit. It feels like that when you submit a proposal and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do the big one just to like test the waters, and then depending on the feedback, because you know, for anybody who submitted a proposal to Nouns, it can be kind of hard to get feedback before you're on chain. So, you know, sometimes you submit the big, you know, pie in the sky like dream prop just to get feedback, and then it passes, and you're like, oh shit. Now I have to do the thing.
It's very true.
Yeah.
The worst rug, the self rug. Now you actually have to do something.
No, shit. It's like shit. I just signed a contract for a job for the next year. Fantastic. But
All right,
anyway,
what props do we have live?
what?
What props do we have?
The only prop we
live?
have live right now is the nuclear fusion reactor. That went live a couple, maybe an hour ago, not long ago. It ends in 4 days. They have updated the proposal since we first took a look at it. It is more than like one paragraph talking about how they got instructions on how to build a fusion reactor from ChatGPT. Now it's like 7 paragraphs talking about how they got instructions on how to build a fusion reactor from ChatGPT. But it's also they built a website, and it's a lot more fleshed out now. Still requesting 3 ETH, but there's a lot more here. The website is
I mean,
basic.
this feels like Moonbeam's, you know, level obvious prop to fund. Aside from the potential legal liabilities, I mean, people are going to talk about Nouns
Yeah.
refuser. I don't know. It might be worth it just for that alone. If you look at it compared to some of the other things that we've funded, you know,
I voted no on the initial prop in Nounsel, and then they updated it after like 36 hours after I voted. And I was like,
And
okay.
it's not just a random person. Like this person has bought 2 nouns over the last year, so
They've
they're
already
vested in
voted yes on their own proposal. It has 2 votes, and they're both from the prop.
Yeah, starting out strong. Also, one of their nouns is like a doppelganger for the Paperclip brothers noun. But anyway,
Yeah,
because I was like, oh,
1169.
Paperclip in early with the support, but it wasn't. I don't know. I need to read it over in more detail, but that's my initial thought. Is that it is? I mean, there is something to be said for what Jarman joked about on Warpcast, where he was like, everybody wants to keep nouns weird until someone proposes to build a nuclear fuser funded by nouns.
And instructed by ChatGPT. I feel like that's something that people are glazing over.
Yeah. I mean, building a nuclear fuser based on ChatGPT, what could go wrong?
Like that was the rest of this. If they took out that one line, I'd be like, ah, fuck it, whatever. But that one line has me like, oh, that's a red flag.
I mean, they're being ruthlessly transparent. They're not trying to say, hey, I'm a rocket scientist, you know, fund me, I guess. But
right, true. But also
yeah,
ChatGPT.
No, but he does say he's a mechatronics engineer.
See, and I don't even know what that is. So he's obviously a lot smarter than me.
Software engineer. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff.
Interesting. I will say this: it's at least interesting. I mean, what other DAO? What other DAO, I challenge you, has a prop as interesting as this up for voting?
You know what? Interesting is absolutely a word that you could use.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, it's active. Only 2 votes for, no votes against, no votes abstained just yet. And current threshold is 69 votes. Nice. So we'll keep an eye on it and see where it lands later this week. As you mentioned, Dream did pass. We got 3 props starting in the next days, though, that we won't really get into today. Maybe tomorrow, since it's a Saturday, it might be a little bit.
They're all still open for changes.
Yeah, there might be a fewer things on the agenda for tomorrow's show, so maybe we'll dig into these a little bit tomorrow. But we've got Nouns Beyond Screens, the sequel. Vodes & Co. did an amazing job with their last proposal for Nouns Beyond Screen IRL activation. So they've got another prop up that I haven't read yet, but I will dig in and we can chat about it on tomorrow's show. We've got Pirate positive some piracy from Gami, which he's been talking about, and we talked about a little bit on the show yesterday, actually, about pirate ship and what he's planning to do with that. I haven't looked at that yet. I didn't know it was going to be a Noun's proposal. It looks like a proposal for 13 ETH, so we'll have to take a look at that.
It is actually cooler than I thought it was. I read the prop already. It's for a head. It's basically for a Zora client, and it's not pirating the actual files that people like. Let's say that you find a song. It's not pirating the song. It is taking a link to the song, slapping a sticker on it and minting that, and then using that to essentially advertise the original.
Okay, so it's less piracy and more virality, I guess.
Essentially, yeah, it's pirating the spread of information basically, and then and still the most of the mints from that, most of the proceeds from the mints of that go to the artist, and all they have to do is prove ownership of the URL or slug or whatever.
Interesting. I think that with that description, I'll have to dig in a little bit further to see the exact details.
It's weird.
My initial thought is that it'll be difficult to incentivize people to mint something that isn't the thing. So we'll have to see how that works, because it's hard enough as content creators. We all know here on stage how hard it is to get people to mint things that you actually put a lot of work and care into and are the actual item on chain. So I do wonder about trying to convince people to just mint something that is a pointer to something that is that content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's not just, it's more like a trading card than just a pointer, but yeah.
Oh, good. Any bonding curve? Because there's no bonding curve.
No, not literally a trading card, but if you look at the proposal, you can see how it has this frame around it.
Well, if you look at our next proposal, it's literally a trading card.
And if you look at our next proposal, it is literally a trading card.
Yeah. All right, what's the deal with this? Nounish Legends, a physical trading card game at DevCon. You want to talk about it?
I haven't read this one yet. This one's new. TLDR, let's bring Noun's mythology to life through physical trading cards at DevCon, creating a legendary fantasy IP that embodies Nounish creativity, optimism, and community. I'm going to have to read this. That is... Okay, that right there is a little bit of a red flag.
What's the red flag?
The fact that in the preview image on the... presumably this isn't the final, but on the preview image on the card thing, they're using a copyrighted font, and I know it's copyrighted because my friends design Magic the Gathering cards for a living.
I don't see an image at all in this prop. Am I crazy?
In Nounish Legends?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're crazy.
Look on the stream. You're crazy.
There's lots of images in here.
I was on Nouns at WTF actually for some reason. I'm not sure why, but not on camp. So on Nouns at WTF, none of the images are showing for some reason.
Well,
Nouns.game, it loads perfect.
Yeah, Nouns.camp, it works great. But anyway, yeah, on the actual package for the trading cards, it's the font for Nouns Genesis.
I'm getting an error. I'm getting an error on camp too. Error loading image. So I don't know what's going on.
I think the issue is get good.
Yeah, that could be the issue. I have that recurring problem. Yeah. Wait, did Willy Wonka actually tweet this before I said
yes,
this?
He did.
I'm
just seeing this now.
Too funny. Great minds think alike. And then actually Lil Bubble, after I tweeted this, did a whole song that was basically a cover of the Eminem song with very similar lyrics too. So great minds think alike.
Context on the stream for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about. Willy I put it up for you. You can.
Yeah, I mean, there's no unique thought. Is basically what it comes down to. Toadie's just a hack stealing people's jokes from all over the internet. I've been exposed. Alpha. All right, I know you want to talk about Nouns FE, so let's talk about Nouns FE and then we'll wrap
Nouns
it up.
FE. I don't have a visual for this for the stream, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. They had an amazing game last night. Where in ESEA, which is at one of the competitions that they're playing in right now, and they got into ESEA main, which means they are in the top 32 teams in the entire competition, and they did that while forfeiting the first match of their bracket due to a scheduling error. So they did not have any sort of cushion. They swept. They went
Is
4-1.
forfeiting your first? Is your forfeiting your first match due to a scheduling error? Does that mean sleeping in?
No. It actually, what it means is that one of the team members had to go to a funeral, and then normally what would happen here is that the other team would be like, oh, okay, and then they would work to reschedule. But instead of that, the other team was like, you have to forfeit, and they just took the win. Yeah, what kind of a dick move,
for them.
but they won anyway. They literally, their only loss was a forfeit. They won all of the rest of their ESEA games. Very convincingly too. Last night's game was cinema. Where they lost their first. The CS:GO works, or CS2 rather, works in terms of maps. So you basically play a best of 3. You play the first map, you play the second map, and then if it's 1-1, then you play the third. They lost their first map and then swept the final 2. They went like 13-8 in terms of the rounds both times. Very, very convincing wins. And now they have their next game is this evening. It's coming up in like 3 hours-ish to play in their first match in ESEA main, which the top 32 teams is ridiculous when you look at how huge Counter-Strike is. I mean, I don't think any of the players on Nouns FE have made main before. They are showing so much improvement in their stats, even over just like the last 6 months, and it's so awesome to see. And it's not like, I'm not overhyping this. Across the Counter-Strike space, especially in the female scene, people are looking at Nouns FE and going, damn. So
awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool to see, and I'm just so proud of them.
Basically, Nouns Esports stays winning is the summary.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
And the men's team for Counter-Strike is doing incredibly as well. So like, just really, really good Counter-Strike news across the board. And our Dota team was just at TI. Yes, they were kicked out fairly early, but they made it there at all, which is kind of ridiculous.
They made it there, and they beat last year's champion.
Yeah, they beat Spirit.
They forced Spirit to grind down through the lower bracket, which was a nice win for them. And then of course they got a pretty unlucky route as well, because they had to play GG Gaming right after that, which was like the runner-up from last year. So they had a pretty tough road, and they fought valiantly, and they are out. However, because some of their roster is so famous and some of the best English speakers there, Sasquatch was telling me that they're actually doing a lot of the commentating. So I think Gunnar and some of the others are commentating on the arena stage, which is pretty cool, and they're wearing their Nouns uniforms. So love to see it.
Yeah, this is the thing that people need to realize about a lot of these esports events is the communities are large, but they are also niche in terms of who is actually, capable of commentating and really having the game knowledge and the skill to be able to talk about this high level play. And so even though there are, hundreds of thousands of spectators, the actual people who can be there and talk about it at the event is very limited, and Nouns is doing an incredible job of really maximizing their impact.
It's not like commentating on Nouns. Any idiot can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's no, but seriously, like they are doing such an incredible job at TI, and like, yes, they are not competing anymore, but that does not mean that their impact at the international has stopped. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that they are having a greater impact this way in terms of, Nouns proliferation than they would have if they had kept going for another couple of rounds.
Love it. Well, like I said, esports stays winning. Make sure you follow them on socials. They're at esports. They're both at esports and at Nouns Esports, actually, on Warpcast.
Yeah.
Whichever one you prefer. And they're also at Nouns Esports on Twitter, X, and they've got a pretty great community. Speaking of Nouns communities, if you like this show, make sure you're following us on socials. We're at the Noun Square pretty much everywhere. You can find us on X. You can find us on YouTube. If you like this kind of content, we also have a podcast that we put out periodically a couple times a month called Zero Rights Reserved. We've had some amazing guests on there, like Jesse from Base, Oh, by the way, remind me to tell you a funny story about Jesse when I'm done here, RFG, and the stream earlier with Prof. But anyway, we've had Jesse on, we've had Seneca on, we've had a few amazing guests on, Mike Rainbow, et cetera, et cetera. We have some great ones lined up as well. We've got Murtaza Hussein who's going to be coming on the pod here soon. We've got Naomi coming on the pod, the UK Olympic hopeful. A lot of amazing guests coming up. Zeropod.xyz is the best place to see all of our season 1 episodes. And then you can follow through to Spotify or YouTube to subscribe and make sure you don't miss an episode. And as far as Yellow Collective goes, if you're into art and supporting artists, check us out on the Yellow channel over on Warpcast. And that's where we hang out. Also, yellowcollective.xyz. We have one auction every single day. One person joins the collective, and then we loop them in, bring them into our group chat, our cabal over on Warpcast, and we have a lot of fun. So that's all of our shills in 2 minutes or less. And yeah, funny story about Jesse. So I was over on the stream, the 24-hour stream for GM Farcaster, and I jumped on, and you can see the comments that people are making. They're like, and someone was like, "Oh, this is so amazing! So glad to have Jesse here." And
You know what? Next time I'm showing somebody Zeropod, and they're gonna be like, "Is that Jesse Pollock?" I'm just gonna be like, "In many ways."
Yeah, you know that meme. You know that meme is like, I'm telling my kids this was Jesse Pollock.
Yeah.
And so I already had the nickname Not Adrian from my stints guest hosting over at GM Farcaster.
You should.
Now I'm gonna have.
You need to post the meme of just a picture of yourself saying, I'm telling my kids this is Jesse Pollock.
I think that would be a hard one to defend without context. But it was funny. And I'm not trying to roast comment, but anywho, it was great to be part of GM Farcaster's 1-year celebration. We're gonna put a pin in this show, but they've got I don't know, like 18 hours left, 17 hours left on their 24-hour stream celebrating 1 year of GM Farcaster. So feel free to go and hang out with them. And I'll be back playing with them a little live poker game at 7:30 p.m. EST with Ted and some other awesome folks. So I'll see you guys back on stream if you are there. And we will see you back here with 9 o'clock live, 818 tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Fantastic. Yeah, let's play the yellow theme for
And it was all yellow.
No, not that one. we have our own yellow theme that we haven't
and we
played.
just got a cease and desist from Coldplay. That was fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy how fast
It is Friday, so if you built on base this week, go submit to base builds in rounds.
Yes, and as
Friday
always,
the
check
13th.
rounds.wtf. Make sure that you have posted in all the rounds that you qualify to post in. So
Yes.
we should play Happy Friday we should play Happy Friday by the park. Do you know how to find that?
Yeah.
Should play Jason's theme song.
We should play this Friday
for
the
Friday
13th.
the 13th. Yeah.
It's
I mean, we should
also
play- we should play
the Apple Emoji Day.
Oh,
you look
Apple
at
Emoji Day.
the calendar on the Apple Emoji, it's September 13th.
All right, play Charlie XCX then.
I'm not. My friend. Okay, that song has been stuck in my head because my friend Kelly literally made a dance for that and it blew up everywhere.
Yeah, we'll be removing this from YouTube post haste. So
I'm
that you can
gonna
see.
play the Happy by the Park. I just need to load it into my soundboard. Hang on. But but seriously, like that dance for that song that everybody's been doing on like TikTok and everything. My friend from high school made that. Kelly Hire, and she's been blowing up everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I remember seeing that because apparently it was like a big deal that Charlie reshared it and stuff.
Yeah. And Kelly got invited to like a private concert, and I'm seeing it on her like the close friends Instagram story, and I'm like, what are you doing? Because I'm so disconnected.
I'm so cynical about that stuff, though. I never believe it's organic anymore. It might even be, but I just never believe it anymore.
This
like,
one
oh,
was.
yeah.
It's usually not. But I mean, she does already have a following on TikTok because she does like. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud. She already has a following on TikTok because she does clown fashion videos.
As you do. If she was paid to do it, do you think she would tell you, RFG?
Yes.
No offense. Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm even more cynical about that than I was about the first thing. You have a song? You have a song for us yet, by the way?
Yes, I do, as of literally this moment. Thank you, everybody, for coming to 9 o'clock live at the Noun Square. I've been Robot Fish Girl. Thank you, Tony, for covering the entire show because my computer blue screen. If you are on YouTube or Twitter and you want to check out any of the links that we talked about today, join the tavern. It is in the description of the video or of the last one, because this is part 2, technically, because of my little blue screen. If you're on tavern, thank you so much for coming and joining us live. You are on screen right now, so wave to the audience. Otherwise, don't forget to pick up Noma Down number 1247, this beautiful cake that we got today, and don't forget to check out whom the cake is celebrating. And don't forget to check out the Yellow Collective auction. Collector number 309, the Zorb on chain. With all that done, we'll see you tomorrow. I've got an esports meeting to get to.
Happy Friday!